Hi everyone, this is Heidi Hancock with Double Magenta Intuitive Energy Healing, and this message is for November 2018. Wow, I feel like October was really intense, and in fact I wrote the November blog several weeks ago, and it just didn't feel like it was time to record it or to post it or dip into it because the energies of October felt like they really needed to linger and hang out for a while longer. So I think we should take a collective deep breath. So let's just close our eyes and take a couple deep breaths. In through the nose, down into the belly, and exhaling out the mouth. And let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the mouth. And 1 more. So, wow, a lot came up in October. A lot of injustice. And Brett Kavanaugh being sworn in, it was like the moment that that happened, you could just feel this collective ripple move out through at least all the women going, what is happening in our world where we need to wake up and make some shifts. So the energy of November is an energy of the heart, and it almost feels like a salve or a balm that's coming in to help us move that energy through, and also now to move the focus from the external to the internal and what's happening. So the energy that's moving through and being activated is the figure 8 that moves through the heart. So if you've been following me for any amount of time, you've heard me talk about figure 8s before, that they move in and around our body all the time. And November is the figure 8 that's in the heart. So if this is the profile and your heart is here, there's a figure 8 that moves in front of the body, crosses at the body, behind the body, and crosses again. And this is the figure 8 that's being activated this month. And so the portion of that 8 that is in front of us, that's the things that we show to the world. That's the part of us that we deem acceptable or worthy of being seen. And we kind of project that out into the world as us. And then there's the portion of the figure 8 that's back behind us. And those are the things that we toss, that we deem, unworthy or make us different or whatever. And it seems like that, maybe it happens a little bit younger in childhood, but around middle school is when you really start seeing it. People, kids all start dressing alike, and, they have this sense of, I have to be like this in order to be okay. And we energetically take those things and we toss them back behind us so that they won't be seen. And, they can cause all kinds of stuff. Grief is stored in the lungs. This energy back behind the heart creates pressure. It can cause back pain, all kinds of things. But it's this place where we store energy. And we store, parts of us that we don't think are worthy. So with that figure 8 being activated this month, what it's going to do is push on those things that are in the back that we have decided aren't for prime time. And they're going to push and help them to come forward so that we can show and get in touch with a little bit of the sweetness and the magic of who we really are authentically and parts of ourselves that we may have disowned. And what happens is, as the energy moves and crosses at the body, the heart itself will act like a filter. So the things that no longer serve us, the parts of us, the beliefs that we've had in ourselves, the beliefs that we've had about ourselves or others, will get filtered out through the heart. So they'll either get spread upwards to heaven, down to earth, out to the side, and the heart will act like a filter, and only the parts that the really sweet, unique, childlike parts of ourselves that we really love will come forward, and they'll give us an opportunity to love them back into being. So, you know, there is a critical point though where when it crosses through and you feel these things, they may come in memories of, you know, past childhood things. You may run into old friends, hear old music. This has been happening for me already for like 2 or 3 weeks. I've started noticing the minute I tuned into, you know, what is the energy of November, it started showing up right away. So old music, running into friends, memories of old things you thought you forgot about. And it's this opportunity to reclaim those really sweet parts of ourselves. And they may be parts of ourselves that are going to help navigate who we are going forward, because um, we can't really do it with this limited part of who we are. And theoretically, the energy should move around in and out. So there's kind of like this introverted, extroverted part of ourselves, but we should be able to move that energy freely and not feel like we have to hide parts of ourselves. So that's what's going to be activated and being helped with this month. And it feels really tenderhearted. It feels really almost kind of bittersweet in a way that we're going to be experiencing these old parts of ourselves that really do hold magic, and they hold that childlike wonder. May come through in creative expression, dance or music or singing or drawing. Those may be places and ways that will help you move the energy through. So for the meditation this month, we're going to tap into that and see if you can't even kind of tune in and notice what some of those parts might be, and then bring those forward. So let's all close our eyes, and we'll take a couple more deep breaths. So in through the nose, and you want to breathe down into the belly, letting the belly expand and really feeling yourself present. And then you can exhale out the mouth. So inhaling through the nose, deep down into the belly, and exhaling out the mouth. And inhaling through the nose, and exhaling out the mouth. And one more, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth. And allow yourself to settle in. Notice your skin, your muscles, your bones. Notice where your body is connected to the surface that you're sitting or lying on. And before we tune into the heart, let's first connect to the energy of the mind that can often be busy, keeping us from where we want to go, energetically and visually. And just imagine yourself walking down from your head, down your spine, past the throat, and into the heart. And then imagine that figure 8. And begin tracing that figure 8 out in front of you. And noticing what is here. What is it that you project out into the world about you? The image that you show. The things that you think are fun and happy about you. And just begin to draw your attention around that figure 8. Out to the widest part. And then coming back around towards the heart. Notice what other pieces might show up on this side. And then move your attention through the cross at the heart. And then pause at the cross for just a moment. And then follow the figure 8 back behind you. Notice what's there. Let yourself trace the whole back of the figure 8. Notice if you get feelings in your body too. There's places where your muscle tissue is holding or reacting to any of that. And take it out to the widest part back behind you. And over to the other side. And there may be a whole movie that plays out back here or in the front. Notice if there's parts of yourselves you haven't seen in a while, or that you miss and want to reintegrate. And let yourself move through the cross at the heart again. And then let your attention move more rapidly along this figure 8 where you're moving from the front, crossing at the heart and coming back. Just letting the speed of that pick up. Almost as if it starts to integrate and get to know each other a little better. Just saying hi to those parts. You can imagine even that you're taking your hand along that figure 8 and cleaning and clearing any of the space from behind. And as you cross over through the heart, just sending any of that energy down into the earth or up into the heavens, letting it spray out the sides, and releasing any limiting beliefs or ways of being that no longer serve you. And bringing the bits that do forward. And then begin to let that settle and slow down, calling your attention back to your heart space. You can place your hand on your heart to call you back. And take a deep breath. Settling back in. And you can go ahead and open your eyes. So I invite you to sit with that energy this month, and you can do this meditation, as many times as you need. And just tuning into that energetic shift of what might be happening for you. And I will offer that this move, this reclaiming and revisiting this magic inside of you and this childlike wonder can be very happy and positive. And it can also be challenging because when you notice that there's these parts back behind you that you haven't been incorporating in who you are, that you might have been ashamed of, there can be some grief that comes up about realizing that you've lived your life in a way that wasn't fully who you are, and thinking that you needed to keep that from others in some way to protect yourself or them or whatever the case may be. So I just mentioned that to offer yourself some compassion and gentleness this month as that shift moves. And it can also come in the form of rage. I'm just going to say that. I had a really profound experience I was just in Costa Rica for a week for a retreat with Lee Harris. And if you don't know him, you better look him up because he's got some good stuff going on. LeeHarrisEnergy.com to find out more about that. But yeah, I had a really intense experience with this rage that totally surprised me. And that energy has been stuck back there for so long that when it comes forward, it might not always be pretty. And so I suggest and offer that if you notice that coming up, try to direct it somewhere that isn't at someone, because that can happen too. We're seeing a lot of that happening in the collective right now, and it really isn't beneficial for any of us. So try to direct it to the earth, to metal, to water, bathing, showering, throwing rocks, walking, being outside in nature, and just offering that there so that you can move through it without directing it at someone. So anyways, I wish you a wonderful November, and thanks for being with me, and I'll see you next month. Namaste.